Hello, in today's demonstration, I'm going to be printing and painting on the Gelli plate. This is a more direct and spontaneous approach. So to begin with, the setup is important. I've got my 5x7 Gelli plate and my 6x9 Jack Richardson paper, which is thick like cardstock, which I want because after I pull my prints, then I'm going to do some more painting on this paper. Um, so I don't want it to be flimsy. You could use watercolor paper. You could use file folders. Um, okay, so first thing I want to do is line my paper up and then tape it with the hinge. I'm going to be pulling two prints. So what I'd like to do is put my fingers just inside the paper, and then when I touch the side of the Gelli plate, I know I've got it pretty well evenly lined up. And I'm going to tape it down with this low tack painter's tape. Okay, and just for fun, I'm going to do some random doodling on both sheets of paper. On this one, I'm using a black charcoal pencil. And I'm doing this because as I'm pulling prints, some of these marks will show through and others will get covered up. Okay, that's in black. I'm going to do this one in this darker umber brown. You could also put stamps down, imagery, other things to show through. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to roll paint out uniformly on the Gelli plate. I think it's important to know how to do this. I put about a quarter teaspoon of paint, and I'm going to use this Liquitex Basics that is more affordable, and Roberta said it works quite well on the Gelli plate. And then I'm going to end up using some Open, which has a slow drying agent in it. I'll pull that in. You can see the difference. All right, so then I've got my 2-inch brayer, and I'm just going to very lightly roll back and forth horizontally and vertically. We want the paint to be relatively uniform on the surface. There's times you'll depart from that, but I think it's important to know how to roll it out uniformly. If there's too much paint on there, you can take a sheet of paper off to the side and you can roll some of that. You can pick some of that paint up and roll it off. This is called roll-off paper. Okay, so once I have a uniform surface, then I'm going to start laying out a really simple composition. So I can do this with a barbecue stick. I can do it with a palette knife. I can do thick lines, thin lines. Okay, then I'm going to use the palette knife to remove some of the paint. I'm creating a little window here. And if you don't like your composition, you just roll it out again and do another one. Okay, other things on this surface we can play with. I can make impressions. I've got this interesting decorative piece of wood. I am going to press down onto the Gelli plate, and because it's silicone and kind of spongy, I can get a good impression. I could put a stencil on there. I'm just going to do a corner. Okay, now I'm going to pull my first print. Okay, you can see the stencil there, the impression, the windows, and then I'm quickly going to pull my other print, which is called my ghost print, which is a little more subtle. And this is where the Open really helps because you have a slower drying time, but that's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to go on to another color. I'm going to go onto this green gray, and I'm going to roll this on a separate sheet of paper onto my brayer. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want to cover this whole surface. So I've got this window here and this stencil. I think I'm going to leave that alone. So let me get that on there a little bit thicker. I'm just going to go for it with my brush. So here comes the direct painting. This is really quite thick. And then what I can do is I can take a drier brush, and these textural marks should show up. What else can I show you? I can also bring my stencil back in and use it this way. If I tap straight down, I'll get those shapes. I could use a paper towel on my finger and remove paint that way. Okay, let's see what we get. So this is where the slower drying paint really helps because you've got a longer manipulation time. Okay, and we'll do the ghost. Okay, so over here I've got this thicker paint, and if you don't like that, you can still move things around on the surface. Okay, now I'm going to go to this transparent Indian yellow, and I'm going to try and pop it into some of these white spaces. Again, I got to roll the paint off my brayer. And I could do this on a separate sheet of paper, or right now I'm just doing it directly on the Gelli plate. Okay, so the transparency is nice because I'm getting this beautiful color interaction. I soften the white spaces. Okay, so now at this point, I could do more printing, or I could use these as structures to add more paint on. I'll show you a little bit of that. So let's say I want a little bit more of this Indian yellow in there, a little more transparency. So here I'm going to add a little bit of water. And I could brighten some of those areas. I'm going to introduce another color, this light violet blue. And I can go back and do some of my techniques like the thick impasto glob. Coming in with, again, sgraffito. I could bring my stencil back. And I'm sort of tapping straight down. There are stencil brushes for this, but I can use the top of my flat brush to kind of tap some paint down and pick up that pattern. Not super high contrast there. If I pick like a white, it's going to show up better. But I think you get the basic idea. Again, with my sgraffito that I like so much. So I think what's so great about this process is you can use printmaking on the jelly plate to create a structure that then you get more spontaneously, that you do more work on top of. And I'm already getting carried away. I'm like, oh, I could put some leafy lines in there. I can come back and draw on top of this some more if I want. And then, same thing, paint over, stuff disappears, stuff shows up. If I take a damp brush, I can move some of that charcoal around. I can kind of liquefy it. It becomes a paint. Lots of possibilities here to explore with a direct approach on the jelly plate with what I call print painting.